conversations with motivation with Mr. Miguel Melbourne. Welcome, Miguel.
Erwin, how you doing? How you feeling?
I am fantastic. Whenever where I am fantastic.
All right, that is
When
it. That's
I
what I want to hear.
wait, hold on. When me there,
Fantastic.
fantastic. Go ahead. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I'm looking to hear, Erwin. Of course, a good evening to you, and a good evening to our distinguished listeners, wherever in the world you're tuning in from. We thank you. I am Miguel Anthony Melbourne. This week, we're having a special episode of Melbourne Motivation, and that's because there's a lot to celebrate. Of course, we are honoring Women's History Month, and March 9th, Erwin, marked 2 years of Melbourne Motivation, Erwin. And so, as part of the celebration, I thought to invite this week one of the most VIP guests I could find in the entire world, Erwin. My mom, my lovely mom, Mrs. Janice Lamoth, who I'm actually going to ask to take over hosting
Hello.
duties. Mom, welcome to Melbourne Motivation. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. It's good to be on.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Mom, I get a chance to sit back. It's your show. Melbourne Motivation is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Iri Jam. It's a pleasure to be a part of this special occasion as my son, Miguel Melbourne, celebrates his second anniversary of Melbourne Motivation. He has interviewed 84 amazing guests, and so today we flip the script. I will interview Miguel so we can learn more about Melbourne Motivation behind the scenes. And like his guest, I'm only going to give Miguel up to 1 minute to answer each question. My first question is, Miguel, what does Melbourne motivation means to you?
Ooh, all right. 1 minute. Here we go. Melbourne Motivation. Well, I'll start here. Back in 2018, every year I would start to write down goals. And in 2018, I grabbed my book and I wrote down 9 different things that I thought I wanted to do, things I want to accomplish over my lifetime. And the ninth one I wrote down was I want to interview everyday Caribbean heroes. It was just something that was, in my mind. It was, in my heart. And lo and behold, in 2021, this opportunity came around, and it wasn't until I was in many, many, many episodes, many months past, I found the book and I actually saw that I wrote down, I want to interview everyday Caribbean hero. And so that's really the conception of Melbourne Motivation. It's always been there. And so that's what it means to me. I truly, truly appreciate the opportunity to find these young Caribbean leaders that are doing amazing things. And to me, they are heroes. And that's sort of the mindset and approach that I take into Melbourne Motivation. And, that's just how meaningful it is to me.
That's great. My next question is, doing weekly interviews must come with its challenges. What is one of the oh, what is one challenge you overcome during have no idea about?
Well, absolutely. One of the privileges of Melbourne Motivation is that I can be anywhere in the world. And so I've done Melbourne Motivation from Jamaica a bunch of times. I've been in Mexico a few times, California, Connecticut, Miami. And so the biggest thing for me then is making sure I have the proper Wi Fi. And so that's always a challenge. And so I can tell you on my 50th episode, I remember I'm all excited. It's the 50th show. Everything is good. And then, a few minutes into the episode, the Wi Fi cut. And I couldn't believe it. And so now, if you can't just imagine what's happening inside of my head. But instantly, my basketball training kicked in. I remember coach tell us, listen, when you're feeling pressure, you're feeling stress, take a deep breath and just rely on the fundamentals. And so that kicked in. I just took a deep breath and I just started, considering what are the solutions. And the Wi-Fi kicked back in and it ended up being a spectacular show. And so that's just a part of the challenges that happen behind the scenes. So I guess I'm saying that to say for all my fellow parents out there, make sure you put your sons and daughters in sports.
Okay. After overcoming those challenges, this leads me to my next question. What is the most rewarding part of Melbourne motivation?
The most rewarding part, well, a part of it is happening right now. Family, getting a part to, sharing this experience, with my family. Coming from Jamaica, I just always looking to, of course, make you proud, mom. And I've done so many things. And a lot of it, we didn't really get a chance to experience it together. But Melbourne Motivation is one of these opportunities. And on the flip side of that, I really, really enjoy what it means for my guests and their families. And I'll tell you a quick story. I went to an event. Chris is a young man that I interviewed a few weeks ago, and I went to an event that he put on. And I walk into the elevator, and there's a few people with me. And we're inside the event, and a woman walked up and she said, "Hey, Miguel." I said, "Hey." And she said, "Miguel from Melbourne Motivation." And I said, "Yes." She said, "You interviewed Chris a few episodes ago." And she said, "I was telling my mom that was you in the elevator, but I wasn't sure until I saw your sweater." And so, of course, I started joking. Did you like the episode? Was it good? Because if it wasn't good, we'd do it again. And she said, "No, it was fantastic." And so, again, just what it means, just for the families. But of course, on my side, but absolutely for what it means for my guest families as well.
That's very great. Um, what is your favorite way to prepare for each interview?
Ooh, yeah. My favorite way to prepare, again, I go back to basketball, and the most important part of my basketball upbringing was practice. And so I try to go into every interview as prepared as possible. And part of that preparation is it doesn't matter if I know the guests, it doesn't matter if I'm meeting them for the first time, I am going to research. I am on their Facebook, I'm on their social media. If there's any articles on them, I mean, I am digging up everything so that I'm able to best ask questions that not only get at the root of what they do, but why they do it, and what are the sort of mindsets that formed, where they are today in life. And so that's my favorite way to prepare, to make sure I do as much research as possible to ask great questions.
That's great. And I hope young listeners that are listening out there take some encouragement from that. Moving on to the next question. What is one of your funniest moments on Melbourne Motivation?
Oh gosh. One comes to mind. It happened recently where we had Fitzroy. He's a farmer, and I was joking around and saying to Fitzroy, I heard that if two people split a strawberry, they fall in love. I thought it was a complete joke, but Fitzroy having a farm and produce, one of the produce is strawberry, confirmed that two people fell in love. They got engaged on his farm. They had a baby. I am laughing. Listen, just thinking about that episode is is making me laugh. But I also remember an earlier episode. One of my favorite episodes when we have musicians on, and early on we had two musicians, two young ladies, and they started doing some acapella, and they're singing and they're vibing. And I don't know where Erwin found a tambourine, but Erwin started playing the tambourine in the background. We started yelling, "Tambourine!" So, just a ton of funny moments. But those are two of my favorites.
Very good. Moving on to the next question. How do you balance showcasing your own amazing personality while still ensuring that your guests are main focus of each interview?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. As I mentioned, I go into every interview with a sincere appetite to elevate the stories of my guests. And going right back to my basketball training, when I played basketball, my position was being a point guard, which essentially meant I'm the coach on the floor. My job is to set up my teammates so that they're in the best position to do what they do best. So I take that mindset into Melbourne Motivation, right? My job is just to be the point guard in the interview and to ask fabulous questions that help my guests to tell their stories. And so as long as I'm focused on that, then I believe the outcome is going to be solid every time.
Very well. Uh, Moving on. So, after successfully accomplishing 2 years of Melbourne Motivation, the question to you is, what do the next 2 years look like for Melbourne Motivation?
Oh, that's a fabulous question. Well, I'm hoping it starts with another 84 plus more amount of guests. I think that's it's an unbelievable feat, you know, and it's not something that I went into it saying here is my goal, but you know, you try to be consistent, you try to, you know, live up to the expectation and the opportunity, and that happens. So I'm hoping for another 84 plus more, but I'm also looking to build melbournemotivation.com, and that I'm hoping that's a place that the diaspora can go and they can continue to listen back and embrace the content. They can go and find, you know, youthful individuals of Caribbean heritage that have different businesses and different missions that we can all add our energy to. And so I'm really looking to build that out. And I'll give you a quick example. A young lady, Yaritza, she's from Panama. She works for Microsoft, and she's an innovation lead for Microsoft. And so she was putting together an event where she was finding educators from all around the world. And she messaged me and said, Miguel, you know, I realize I don't have any Caribbean representation. Do you know anyone? Well, I looked right in my Melbourne Motivation directory, and I remembered the young lady that was the first to start a school, the youngest to start a school in Jamaica history. And I put them in touch, and now they were able to connect. And so that's the way I see Melbourne Motivation being this ecosystem of impact. And so that's what I'm looking to develop over the next 2 years.
That's very great. Well, son, I must tell you, I am very proud of you. I'm happy for the work that you're doing. And this concludes our interview for the evening. At this time, I'm going to turn it back over to you and Erwin.
All right, Mommy Dearest, thank you so much, Mom. Let me just take a second.
Set off.
I appreciate that. I tell you, it's special. It's special.
Mom, let me tell you something. Whenever I can't find Miguel, you me a call. Anyway, before you go, guys, stay right there because I have online a young miss you interviewed, I think more than one occasion, and she recently was elected the Jamaica Global Diaspora Youth Leader, Miss Asia Richards, and I think she has something to say to you, Miguel. Miss Richards.
Hello.
Hey.
Asha, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Asha.
No problem. I am North. For those that don't know, I am currently serving as the Northeast USA representative of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council, and I would like to say congrats to Miguel on 2 years.
Asha, thank you greatly. Thank you so much. I got a chance to hang out with Asha recently at an event, and it's just so amazing, the conversations, and so proud of you, Asha. Thank you so much.
Right. And before you go, Miss Richards, we can't let's just congratulate him alone. No. I think Miguel, and on behalf of Miguel, Miss Lamoth, and of course Ira Jam here, want to congratulate you and say congratulations to you and best of wishes in your endeavors.
Oh, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate Miguel and Melbourne Motivation for the work that you are doing in the diaspora community, especially the youth in the diaspora community. Through your program and through your own work, I remember jokingly saying to you that you should interview yourself for Melbourne Motivation because a lot.
You did.
And really you serve as an inspiration for what the diaspora youth can achieve and aspire to be. So again, congratulations on 2 years and keep doing what you do. I'm sure I speak for many people and say that I appreciate everything.
All
Thank you so much. I will.
Thank you very much for taking time out to pass on these kind of accolades to Miguel Melbourne, and of course his celebrity guest tonight, his mom.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, and Erwin, just quickly, Mom, before you go, I definitely just want to thank you. This was a fantastic Bring Your Mom to Work Day, and I think you truly represent, you know, so many Caribbean women, right, that have made the sacrifices to leave their beautiful countries, to come to America, to give their kids the opportunity to advance themselves and to live out their dream. And of course, as you can tell, this is a dream moment. And so just thank you so much.
You're welcome, son.
And before you guys go, I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of the management and staff of Ira Jam Global Media Company to say that how pleased and honored we are, privileged as well, for you to be part of our team. From day one, it has been nutrient to what we do. It has bear, bore great fruits. We have seen persons who have been interviewed on this platform have gone on to excel, and mom, your son is truly a great motivator, very
Thank you.
disciplined in what he does, and very professional in his delivery. And for that, we here at Ira Jam, more so the fact of the matter, we're indeed so honored to have him be part of our experience. And thank you very much, and
Thank you.
and like I said, when we can't find him, I call you. Miguel,
I'll make myself available.
okay.
Absolutely. And so, of course, ladies and gentlemen, my personal and professional goals are to help the youth be best prepared for college and career. I do want you to visit pathwaytopurpose.com to view our educational tools. Follow Melbourne Motivation on Facebook, Instagram. Of course, you can subscribe to YouTube. Watch this interview back, plus more. But of course, until next time, please be safe and live with big energy. Erwin, next week.
Indeed, and I just also want to welcome you to the Team Jamaica Bickle family too, because ladies and gentlemen, Miguel Melbourne will be our master sermonist at the Labor of Love Team Jamaica Bickle's premier luncheon gala on Sunday, April 16th at the Crest Hollow Country Club in Long Island. So get your tickets. Miguel will be there. All right, Miguel. Thank you very much.
Extreme honor. Thank you, Erwin.
Sure. So